If you're an adult, did you know that you can learn Spanish faster than a child? You may have been told kids learn languages faster than adults. Now, this is semi-true. Here's the thing. Kids' brains are more malleable than an adult's brain, and therefore, they're more receptive to new information. However, you, as an adult, have prior grammar experience. So you understand that we don't say, oh, I like your car red. No, we would say, I like your red car. So you have an advantage over children. Also, think about confidence. Here's the thing. The number one reason that kids typically learn faster than adults when it comes to languages is because they just don't care. They're confident. They don't care about going up to some random adult and being like, Hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy Brian, blah, blah. They just go for it. But adults, we typically are more reserved. Oh, hola. We might not even try in the first place. And this arguably holds us back. Okay, so learn that lesson from kids. Just, who cares? Put yourself out there. No one's going to laugh at you. No one's going to make fun of you if you make mistakes. So have that confidence, take a deep breath, and just put yourself out there. Another big one is sleep. Kids tend to sleep more than adults. So if you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep per night, you are massively inhibiting the amount of information that you can learn. There's a very interesting book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I highly recommend it. You need to get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. I know it might sound like a lot, but it's seriously, seriously important for when it comes to learning new things and remembering new things. And once again, your mindset. If you are telling yourself, oh, I'm too old to learn Spanish, or I just don't have enough time, then you're already behind and you've already set yourself up for failure. So change your mindset. I can learn Spanish. I can do this. I do have time. A story I like to share is one of my very motivated students, Jeff, has a successful business, goes to church every Sunday, has 5 kids, and he spends 1 hour per day learning Spanish. No excuse. You can do it too. You just have to make the time. All right? So there are 5 main components of learning Spanish. I typically talk about the 3 pillars, which are grammar, speaking, and listening, but we also have reading and writing, which truthfully for many of us in the modern day come through just texting people. Okay, so here's the thing. If you are watching this YouTube video and you're like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to learn Spanish, get a tutor as soon as possible. Because typically what ends up happening is someone says, I'm super motivated, I'm excited to learn Spanish, I'm going to do this. And then the day after, they're like, oh, where do I start? And this is kind of hard. I give up. So get a tutor as soon as possible. After you watch this video, go on a website like italki.com or Preply and just pay someone $10 or $15 an hour just to get your first lesson to kind of get the ball rolling, okay? But having a tutor is going to save you a lot of time. And a lot of people make this mistake because they just don't want to spend the money. But I promise you, the sooner you get a tutor, the faster you're going to learn. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at this side of the whiteboard. We need to create a routine. So what's that going to look like? Well, the number one most important thing you need to do if you want to learn Spanish fluently and learn faster than other people is to speak. And this is the number one thing that you should be doing, but it's the number one thing that most people don't do. Typically because they either have no one to speak with or because they're too nervous to speak. If you are too nervous to speak, it's okay. It's very normal, but do not wait. You should start speaking in Spanish from day one, even if you don't feel ready, which is why I highly recommend that you get a tutor as soon as possible. Even if you only know how to say, Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien. It's fine. You just need to speak, okay? I promise you, when you put yourself out there and you have conversations with people, you're going to learn much faster and you're going to learn new vocabulary, and in certain situations, you're probably never going to forget it. Recently, I met up with one of my students in Mexico City, and he told me that at his hotel, he had forgot the word for towel, which is toalla. And he had said to the person at the front desk, toilette? And they were like, oh, toalla. And he's like, oh, yes, toalla. I guarantee he's never going to forget the word toalla because of that interaction. So you need to get in speaking practice as much as you can, okay? Here is just a very basic routine that you can follow. So 10 minutes of speaking. This could be with yourself. This could be with an online tutor. This could be on an online language exchange for free, something like Tandem or HelloTalk, with people in your community, maybe your romantic partner or a family member, okay? Speak. So important, okay? Next is grammar. so many people say, oh, Nate, I don't want to learn grammar. Or I saw this thing online, this special method. It's called the no grammar method, become fluent in 2 hours. But here's the thing. Not learning grammar is like trying to learn how to play the piano perfectly without learning any notes or scales. If you want to impress people at a party by, playing a few songs on the piano, that is the equivalent of learning basic phrases in Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿de dónde eres? Okay? You can impress people initially, but when they go to actually try to talk to you about anything besides those basic phrases, you're going to be like, sí, and you're going to have no idea what's going on. It's very, very normal. So, grammar is what's going to help you be able to talk about whatever the heck you want to talk about. Rocket science, underwater basket weaving, I don't care, okay? It's going to help you learn why we use the word lo or le. What about se? Or, the list goes on and on, okay? So, don't kid yourself. You do need to learn grammar, and it's really not as scary as you might think, okay? Get a good grammar resource. This could be a book, an online course, a community. Just find a place that you can go and learn some basic grammar. Next is listening. Now, listening is arguably the easiest thing that you can do in order to improve your Spanish. A very popular concept in the language learning world is what we call comprehensible input, which is basically just listening to things that are slightly above your Spanish level. Now, I'll take this a step further. Just listen to things that you actually enjoy listening to. If someone told you, oh, you need to listen to podcasts, that's how you become fluent, but you hate listening to podcasts, then don't listen to podcasts. Just listen to music. For example, if that's what you love, listen to music, okay? But this can be during your commute. This can be while you're doing chores, washing dishes, at the supermarket. Listening is a very easy and passive way to learn the language. But there are more active listening methods like, listening to an audiobook or a podcast, for example, okay? And in order to get up your vocabulary, practice flashcards before bed. You can use a software like Quizlet. You can use the very popular software Anki, free on desktop, and it's paid, I believe, on iOS. Fantastic for learning new vocabulary. It does have a learning curve, but it is really, really good. So practice flashcards before bed. And then remember, consistency always wins. So if you can't do this routine, it's okay. I would rather you show up to learn Spanish for 1 minute per day than, look at this, do it for a week, and then give up and quit because it's confusing and hard, okay? Consistency always wins, which is why, if I'm going to be honest with you, Duolingo is fantastic for keeping up your consistency. As we know, they've done a great job at gamifying the learning process, and they have those streaks, right? And you don't want to lose your streak. That is absolutely fantastic for keeping up your consistency. But are you going to become fluent just using an app like Duolingo? No, because you're not doing much of the speaking practice. Okay, you're getting some grammar, you're getting some listening, but speaking is arguably what's going to take you to the next level even faster. Okay, so keep it simple. Remember, here are 5 main pillars of learning Spanish: grammar, speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And get a tutor as soon as possible. If you go into this without any guidance, you're going to get overwhelmed, you're going to get confused, and you're going to give up. Learning Spanish is a lot like going to the gym, and it's much easier when you have a personal trainer, aka a tutor. Speaking of that, click the link in the video description if you want to check out our Fluent Spanish Speaker Academy. It's an online community of learners. It is seriously awesome. I'm biased because it's my community, but you can check it out by clicking the link in the video description. Our goal is to help you have a 10-minute conversation in Spanish in 90 days without feeling unconfident. So check it out by clicking the link in the video description. I hope I didn't go too fast. I got really excited and passionate in this video because it really bums me out when adults are like, I'm too old or I just don't have time. It's not true. You can learn Spanish and it will change your life. Bueno, muchas gracias por ver este video. Espero que tengas muy buen día y nos vemos muy pronto. Hasta luego.